Ugh, menopause weight gain, am I right? Well, good thing we're going to combat that today because we are going to go through the exercise plan that specifically targets menopause belly fat. I'm Alicia Jones from Alicia Jones Healthy Living, and for over 14 years, I've helped transform the health and lives of women over 50 through fitness and weight loss strategies. And today we're going to go over that exercise plan that specifically targets menopause belly fat. So I don't think I need to tell you, right? Like, you're going through menopause, you've already got enough to deal with. You've got hot flashes maybe you're not sleeping well, insomnia, anxiety, and then on top of it, there's the weight gain. And it's in places that never were there before. We're talking specifically about the stomach. So a lot of times when clients are just coming to me for the first time, but they're in the middle of menopause, they've already tried a few things before they've come to me, right? So the first thing is the old tactic of reducing calories, but they reduce the calories more and more, and not only did they not see results, but they gain even more. And then with the exercise, they're trying to add on, do as much as they can, as many days of the week, as many hours as they can possibly fit in, which is already hard enough as it is, right? Because you're probably really busy and that's not something you necessarily want to be doing all the time. But they add on more exercise, more hours, whatever they can do. And not only do they still see that increase in the waistline, but then the added symptoms come, the achy joints, extra fatigue, so tired you don't even want to do the workout. And so they end up giving up. Here's the issue. The workouts and the low-calorie diets, they weren't meant to treat menopause and the hormone shifts that you're going through. And that includes belly fat. They just were not meant for that. So the fix is simple. Change your workout, change your nutrition to be specifically designed for menopause, to start to balance hormones and meet your hormones where they're at. So today we are talking about the exact exercise plan to meet your hormones where they're at, specifically to meet low estrogen levels where they're at. When you do that, that's when fat is released. That's when your energy rises, when you feel like you can sleep through the whole night and you get a rested night's sleep. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So here is the 2 must-know parts of an exercise plan you got to add them in together. And again, like I said, I have the freebie at the end so you can pick that up and it does all the work for you. Gives you the workouts and everything. Okay, the first one is weight training. Weight training is a must 2 times a week. Weight training specifically targets menopause belly fat. So studies show that just doing weight training 2 times a week for 10 weeks and you increase your lean muscle by 3 pounds. So you increase your lean muscle by 3 pounds, which then burns more fat. It burns up to 4 pounds of fat. So 3 pounds of lean muscle, and no, you won't bulk up, gives you 4 pounds of fat loss, which is just fabulous. Here's a side note or a fun fact. If you use the scale and you've been feeling really disappointed because you've been working on weights really hard, you've been doing exercise and eating really well, but the scale's only showing like a 1 pound drop in weight, well, you've actually lost 4 pounds of fat. When you weight train, you're going to look more toned. Your jeans feel loose, but it's not going to show on the scale. You really will have lost 4 pounds of fat, but the scale will only show a 1 pound difference. So that's a fun fact. So weight training just 2 times a week, that's all you need to get started in order to decrease menopause belly fat. Next, you're going to meet your estrogen levels where they're at by switching the type of workout you do. One of the things I hear a lot, again, when people are just coming to me, they say, you know, I eat pretty healthy. I'm not eating any differently than I used to, and I'm gaining weight. The thing is, without even realizing it, they're often eating more and they don't even realize it. And simply put, it's because low estrogen actually makes you feel hungry. Low estrogen levels actually increases your appetite and you end up eating more without even realizing it. portions become distorted. It's called portion distortion. So you don't even realize it. You think you're eating the same amount of salad, the same amount of meat, the same amount of rice, but those portions have slowly started to expand and you don't even realize this. So here's how it works. Basically, estrogen sends signals to the part of your brain that is in charge of hunger hormones. There's leptin and ghrelin are two hunger hormones. Ghrelin, grr, think of grr like my stomach is grumbling. Ghrelin is the hormone that is released to tell you you're hungry. Well, when your estrogen levels were high before menopause, estrogen would send a signal to the brain to say, hey, ghrelin, stop saying you're hungry because we're full now. Here's the thing. Now that your estrogen levels are low, it can no longer send those signals to your brain in the same way to say, hey, turn off the hunger hormone, turn off ghrelin. So the signal just keeps on going. You are more hungry, you eat until you're full, but your portions have actually expanded without even realizing it, which means you're eating twice as much, you're gaining more weight because of that, and all of that weight is going to your stomach because those low estrogen levels put the weight right on to your stomach. You won't be able to increase those estrogen levels. Those are your new hormone balance. Your estrogen is going to be lower than it was before. So it's not about tackling the amount of estrogen you have. You can't push back on that. But what you can do, you can decrease ghrelin. And you can do that by doing high intensity interval training. High intensity interval training suppresses ghrelin. So it suppresses that hunger hormone, that hormone that tells you you're hungry, much like estrogen did. It's having the same effect, just in a different way. High intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT, it's known as short bursts of all out intensity. So your heart rate has to be high at about 80% to 95% of your total heart rate max. So it's a high heart rate for short bouts, anywhere from 20 seconds all the way to a minute, maybe a little bit more. And then you've got active rest, which means you walk around maybe for another minute or a short period of time before you start again. This is known as high intensity interval training. One thing that's really valuable about high intensity interval training is if you're short on time. So if you don't have a lot of time, or if you've been one of those people that's been accumulating more and more and more days onto your workouts or more hours onto your workouts, you actually have to do less of this type of workout in order to get results, to increase your adaptation, and to burn more fat, even at rest. While you might have heard that doing 150 minutes of your Zumba class, your walking, your aquafit, your cardio, that's what you're trying to accumulate, 150 minutes, because the intensity of high intensity interval training is much more intense, you have to do less. It's only about 75 minutes of high intensity interval training per week that you're trying to accumulate. I suggest that you put this in just a few days. That way you give yourself all of the time in between to adapt and to rest. So just a few short days of high intensity interval training. That's it. Okay, so here is my one word of caution though. If you are brand new to starting fitness again, so it's been a long time since you've done any sort of fitness, we're talking about even walking, we're talking about even your cardio, aquafit, or Zumba. If you have not done any of that, then I highly suggest that you have at least 1 month of consistent exercise under your belt before you give this a try, if not longer. Because it is a higher intensity workout plan and you want to make sure that your body is ready to take on that level of fitness. So make sure you have 1 month or 4 weeks under your belt. Okay, so as promised, I have a freebie that takes these 2 exercise strategies into action, which means it's a workout plan. To download the workout plan, go to AliciaJonesHealthyLiving.com/shrinkbelly. That's AliciaJonesHealthyLiving.com/shrinkbelly. And if you are new to even cardio, you haven't been consistent, you can still download the plan, but only do the weight training part in it. Don't do the high intensity interval training until you are ready and you feel ready to tackle on something like high intensity interval training. Okay, we have one more thing we're going to go through, just one more thing. And this is what happens if it isn't low estrogen that's actually creating your belly fat and increasing your belly fat. So other signs that low estrogen might not be the cause of your weight gain, or you might need a different workout strategy. One, you feel so exhausted. You just cannot get through a workout. Or you feel really anxious. You're feeling a lot of stress. Or you're brand new to fitness. You've never worked out before. Or your body just aches at the thought of doing a workout. These are all signs that high intensity interval training, for example, is not going to be right for you right now, and that low estrogen might not be your issue. And that's where the next video comes in. In the next video, we're going to talk about the most common hormone imbalance that often goes overlooked. You'll learn exactly what to do about it and how not only to shrink belly fat, but to begin to feel better by balancing this hormone. Okay, I'll see you on the next video. Stay tuned. For more motivational fitness and nutrition tips to make 50 and beyond the healthiest and most vibrant years of your life, visit AliciaJonesHealthyLiving.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel.